Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Raul Alejandro Mendoza, or the Nerdy Chicano. Either way, how it goes, it's all good here. And we're back for another installment in Between the Frames as we conclude our look at the Trilogía de Guillermo del Toro box set from Criterion. And yeah, today we're going to be discussing Pan's Labyrinth, and we're going to be finishing off this 3-disc box set from Criterion. And it's been a lot of fun, y'all. I've been enjoying so much being able to take a look at this wonderful box set from Criterion. And today we will be finishing it off and showing you all what is to come in the next 4 videos. The next couple of videos as I showcase to you all the next set that we're going to be discussing. And like I said, hint, it's not a Criterion and it's not in my back, my shelf right here. So, as always, if you enjoy content like this about physical media and movies and all that wonderful stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you turn on the notification bell. Make sure you leave a like on this video and make sure you stick around for all the wonderful content I've got coming today and every day after. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. Of course, before we can actually talk about the film, we need to look at Criterion's introduction on Criterion.com. Pan's Labyrinth, an Academy Award-winning fable set 5 years after the end of the Spanish Civil War. Pan's Labyrinth encapsulates the rich visual style and genre-defying craft of Guillermo del Toro. 11-year-old Ofelia, played by Ivana Baquero, is a mature and tender performance, comes face to face with the horrors of fascism when she and her pregnant mother are uprooted to the countryside, where her new stepfather, Sergi Lopez, is a sadistic captain in General Francisco Franco's army, hunts down Republican guerrillas, refusing to give up the fight. The violent reality in which Ofelia lives merges seamlessly with her fantastical interior world, when she meets a faun in a decaying labyrinth and is set on a strange mythic journey that's at once terrifying and beautiful. In his revisiting of this bloody period in Spanish history, Del Toro creates a vivid depiction of the monstrosities of war, infiltrating a child's imagination and threatening the innocence of youth. That is the entry here on Criterion.com of Pan's Labyrinth. Of course, this is a director-approved special edition, so we get a newly graded 2K digital transfer supervised by director Guillermo del Toro, and a 5.1 surround sound DTS HD master audio soundtrack on the Blu-ray, plus an alternate 7.1 surround sound DTS HD master audio soundtrack on the Blu-ray as well. Audio commentary from Del Toro from 2007, a new interview with Del Toro by novelist Cornelia Funk about fairy tales, fantasy, and Pan's Labyrinth. A new interview with actor Doug Jones for 2007, making of documentaries examining the characters, special effects, themes, and music of the film, an interactive director's notebook, and just a lot of other stuff, y'all. You really do get a bang for your buck when you get this film, because it comes with a good amount of special features here. And of course, yeah, that's everything included in this Blu-ray of Pan's Labyrinth, and it is the final film in the Guillermo del Toro trilogy box set here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. What do I think about Pan's Labyrinth? Well, I want to say that when I watched this film for the first time, I was at least like 12 or 13, I don't remember anymore, like 10, 12 years old. It was my brother had it on DVD, and then we watched it all together with the family. And I watched it then when I got this from my mom, and I watched that set. I watched that the second time, and then today it is the third time. And at first I thought, it's a really good film from Del Toro, but I hadn't really, grasped the idea of what Del Toro was trying to say here, because when I first saw this movie, of course, I was young. And then when I get it the second time, I'm really starting to, get more into filmmaking and, film, and I really grasp a bit of what Del Toro is saying here, and really I gravitate towards like calling it a masterpiece yet, not yet, but it's kind of a masterpiece to me. And now on this third watch, I truly do remark this as the incredible film that it is. I mean, the performances, not just by Ophelia's actress, but you know, the captain, the mother, Mercedes, who's played by, I don't remember her name, but everybody here is doing such a great job at providing a very grotesque and very realistic look at life in Spanish Falange. And especially, you know, I love the special effects, like the makeup on Doug Jones, and just the design of the fawn looks fantastic. And you know, Del Toro always finds a way to make everything look so majestic, but find a way to keep it rooted within the reality of the films that he's making. And he does that again in here. This film has an incredible score as well, and it really kind of starts to showcase what his films scores will start to sound like, because a lot of the motifs in this score are very reminiscent of motifs in like The Shape of Water, Crimson Peak, and all those other films of his. I love the cinematography by Guillermo Navarro, and I think that he does such a great job. I've always wondered why, you know, Navarro and Guillermo del Toro stopped working and he started working more with Dan Laustin, but of course I think everybody works well with Guillermo, and I very much enjoy Dan Laustin's cinematography within his films that he's shot for Guillermo. And just, I love this movie. I mean, it's able to, you know, still somehow 16 years later, still be very, very relevant and still be able to hold up. And that's what I think makes a film that's really worth talking about. And Guillermo del Toro crafts a masterpiece in itself and really creates one of his greatest works. It's not my favorite from Del Toro. My favorite film from Del Toro is The Shape of Water, but this one is easily my second favorite film from Del Toro. But yeah, I love this film. This film is so special to me, especially because when I first saw it, I watched it with my mom and my dad, my big brother. And of course, this, like I've said, this set is so special to me because it was a gift from my mom and my dad. And now I'm glad I was able to talk to you all about it and be able to talk to you all about how great this film is. Now, let's talk about the restoration. So, presented on a Blu-ray disc, this is a 2K digital master. Of course, I watched it on my Panasonic 4K player with upscaling on a Samsung 4K TV. You all know exactly how it's going to go. I think after the next set is when it's going to start getting a little bit different, because I'm going to be watching it on a different TV, but on the same 4K player. Either way, this film is newly graded. It looks very different from what I watched when I watched it on the DVD way back when. And of course, it looks amazing. I mean, they did a grand job at grading this and bringing new life into it. And also just the 2K quality on this really helps bring out the details on the screen, especially with the grain still there. It looks fantastic. Every skin tones look accurate, and colors bounce off each other so well and create such a beautiful picture that, you know, is really possible because you have the director and the director of photography working with the lab who is able to restore this. But yes, the film looks fantastic. It looks amazing in that upscaled quality. And I mean, I've heard all the complaints about the 4K copy, and I'm glad that I never bought that, because this is truly the better looking version. And whenever they finally make a good enough version of the film to put on 4K, I'll get that. But in the meantime, I'm going to stick with this wonderful Blu-ray copy, because this is obviously the better version of the film that we've seen just yet. But it looks fantastic, and I'm really, really happy for that new grading on this film. Now, the audio restoration. This has two tracks, right? It has a 5.1 and a 7.1. I watched with a 5.1 surround sound, and my God, this sounds freaking awesome. I mean, I also had my roommate, my friend Luis watching, and Luis was saying how, like, wow, like, I'm like, this sounds extra crisp. And they really went in there and gave this film a proper audio treatment, and they really cleaned it up and they gave it a great surround sound, and you can hear, like, there's those scenes where the bombs are going off. You really feel that bass with those bombs, especially when you're hearing the gunshots as well. It works really well for that. And who can forget about the Coke bottle scene? Holy crap, it gets even more terrifying having to hear that sound design on a 5.1 surround sound. But this movie sounds fantastic. They did such a great job of giving a really good audio track to this, and I'm just really happy because this film really deserves that. And for you to get something like this without having to put like Dolby Digital or Dolby Atmos, it really shows the capabilities of working with that original audio track and being able to bump it up. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm glad that this audio track sounds great. Overall, I would say that the set is probably a really good set. It's one of my favorites. Of course, each set I've already talked, every film in this set I've already talked about how I love the presentations. Of course, Chronos, when it comes to the audio, wasn't the best, but it's still fine for what it is. So either way, I'm gonna give a wonderful 2 thumbs up to this set here, y'all. And I really did enjoy talking about this set with you all. And of course, it's time to show you all what's the next set that we're going to be talking about on Between the Frames, as we put this aside and we look at the Alfred Hitchcock Classics Collection from, I believe, Columbia, or I don't remember who put this out. But we are going to be looking at 4 films from Alfred Hitchcock on 4K. We're looking at Rear Window, Vertigo, Rear Window, Psycho, and The Birds. We're going to be looking at these 4 films, and we're going to be talking about the 4K copies. And yeah, I'm really excited. I've seen all these films before, so I'm going to have a good memory of how these films used to look. So hopefully you guys can go ahead and stick for that. But we're going to be moving away from Criterion on this one, and then the next set as well we'll be moving, and then we'll get back into Criterion. But in the meantime, we're going to look at these. And I'm really excited because I love these films, and Alfred Hitchcock is also one of my favorite filmmakers. So this is what we'll be looking at in the next couple of videos. So stick around for that, and I hope you all enjoy those videos when they come. In the meantime, if you want to stick around and find me on social media, make sure you go check me out on the Nerdy Chicano, at the Nerdy Chicano, on both Instagram, Twitter, Serialized, Letterboxd, all that wonderful stuff. I'm under the same handle, at the Nerdy Chicano. Make sure you keep up to date with all the things that I do on the Nerdcore by going over to thenerdcore.com. Check out my articles that I've been writing. I've been doing a lot of reviews on new films and on old films, and just check out all that stuff. And of course, I hope you all had a wonderful time, and I hope whenever you're watching this, you are staying safe and you're staying healthy. And in the meantime, my wonderful, renowned cinephiles and scholars, I'll see you on the next one. Celebrate the love of cinema today, tomorrow, and every day after. See you guys.